This is a production of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
God is at work in our Muslim neighbors. There's tremendous faith there in the God of Abraham.
We find the flowers on the steps of the mosque here. Love letters from our neighbors saying, we love you.
I believe that Christians and Muslims and Jews and other people of other faith can live together. Not only can they must.
Hello and welcome to MOSAIC, the video magazine of the ELCA. I'm your host, Melissa Ramirez. We're in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, the heartland of America. It is a place you'd expect to find Lutherans, but Cedar Rapids is also home to the oldest standing place of worship for Muslims in North America. People from the Middle East first came here in the 1920s looking for jobs, land, and a new life. Like their numerous Christian neighbors, they built a house of worship, the Mother Mosque. Some of those neighbors were Arabic-speaking Christians who helped their Muslim brothers and sisters start a new life in America. Today, the Mother Mosque serves as an Islamic cultural center. The world has over 6 billion people. More than 1 billion are Muslim. Followers of Islam are all over the planet. When North Americans think of Muslims, they often think of the Middle East, places like Lebanon, Palestine, Egypt, and of course the land of Mohammed's birth, Saudi Arabia. But Muslims also live in places like Asia, South Asia, Africa, and the Pacific Rim. Indonesia has the largest Muslim population of any country in the world. Islam is a growing part of American culture as well. Some Muslims have been in America for generations. Others are new immigrants. Still others converted to Islam. Few Christians in America paid much attention to Islam before September 11. Today, the religion that reveres Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Mary is headline news. But what do North American Christians really know about Islam? Is what we know based on facts and experience, or fear and ignorance? This video will introduce to you the basics of Islam and the Prophet Mohammed. We will go inside a mosque for Friday prayer. Then we will see how Lutherans and Muslims are working together to build bridges of understanding. Jews, Christians, and Muslims believe in one God. We call this form of religion monotheism. The word Islam is Arabic for surrender. In religious terms, it means total surrender to the will of God. The word Muslim is related and means one who surrenders to God.
It would be considered that all nature is Muslim. As far as human beings, they have been given the choice from God, or the free will, what we call, and endowed this choice, whether they submit to God or they don't submit to God.
Christians and Muslims have much in common. North American Christians use the word God. Arab Christians and Muslims use the word Allah, which is Arabic for God. Each religion values prayer, fasting, and giving to the poor. Both religions honor Adam, Noah, Moses, Abraham, Jesus, and Mary. In fact, Mary, the mother of Jesus, is mentioned more in the Quran than in the Bible.
I think the important thing in these conversations is that we start with what is common. What is common as children of God, people created in the image of God, people who trust in God as our Creator. And from there, then, we can move to share what we know in Jesus Christ as God's unconditional love. And that's a special message we have to share with Muslims who much more hold in tension the mercy and the judgment of God. And our particular message, and if we can live that in word and deed with our Muslim neighbors, is that God's love and forgiveness is unconditional.
Islam has 6 basic beliefs: belief in God, angels, prophets, holy books, Day of Judgment, and sovereignty of God. On these basic beliefs, they have established 5 pillars or acts of worship. Elements of each pillar can be seen in Christianity and Judaism. The first is to bear public witness. There is no God but God, and Muhammad is the messenger of God. The second pillar is prayer. Muslims are asked to pray 5 times a day, at dawn, noon, mid-afternoon, sunset, and evening. Fasting is the third pillar. This happens during the month of Ramadan. The fourth pillar is zakat, or almsgiving. In Islam, giving to the poor is a form of purification and worship to God. The fifth pillar is the Hajj, or pilgrimage to Mecca in Saudi Arabia. If a Muslim man or woman can afford it, they are required to visit Islam's holiest sites at least once in their lifetime. In 2002, an estimated 2.2 million Muslims went on the Hajj.
You basically are totally before God, in a sense that you are not a person of the world. You do not know even your own self. And millions of people there praising to God in their own languages, in their own ways, some with loud voice, some with whispering, some crying, and it looked me as if the bees are buzzing, and all these humans praising to God, and I just one little drop in that.
Do you have a sense of wonder? Give voice to the wonders of God's work in the world. Consider public ministry in the ELCA. For more information, call 800-638-3522, extension 2870. Explore your sense of wonder.
The Prophet Mohammed was born in 570, nearly 600 years after Jesus Christ. At the time of Muhammad's birth, people in Europe were mostly Christian, and the church was the only universal institution. In Arabia, no single religion dominated the nomadic traders who roamed the desert mixing folk religions, Christianity, and Judaism. The Prophet Mohammed grew up in Mecca, a trading center on the west coast of the Arabian Peninsula.
Prophet Muhammad was an orphan. This orphan became a great father for humanity.
We sometimes think of Mecca as a little desert town, as though he came from the sand dunes, right? In fact, Mecca was quite a commercial city. He seems to have been a very bright chap. He was given the nickname of Al-Amin, the trusted one.
When Muhammad was young, the Kaaba